Right, welcome to the Inside Story. Today is Republic Day, so very happy Republic Day to everybody. यानी गणतंत्र दिवस की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं पूरे देश को मेरी तरफ से, प्रदीप नंबियार की तरफ से, इनसाइड स्टोरी की तरफ से, लेमन न्यूज़ की तरफ से पूरे देश को हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं। बराक ओबामा, जी हाँ, आज की तारीख में हर कोई किसी और विषय में बात नहीं कर रहा, सिर्फ इस विषय में बात कर रहा है कि किस प्रकार आदरणीय सम्मानीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी और प्रेसिडेंट बराक ओबामा की पर्सनल केमिस्ट्री की वजह से आज की तारीख में हिंदुस्तान ने एक बहुत बड़ा मैदान मार लिया। यानी जो सिविल न्यूक्लियर डील है, जो सिविलियन न्यूक्लियर डील है, उस पर असल में एग्रीमेंट हो गई। एग्रीमेंट तो बहुत पहले से हो चुकी थी, उसको ऑपरेशनलाइज भी बहुत पहले कर दिया गया था, लेकिन अब जो प्राइवेट एग्रीमेंट है वो शायद अब शुरू हो जाएगी। At the moment, just to talk about that, of course, Pradeep Nambiar is there with us in the studio, and just to talk about that, at the moment, we've got Professor Iyer, and he's speaking from Prime Minister Narendra Modi's own country, which is Gujarat. Professor Iyer, very good evening.
Yes, I'm calling from Surat right now.
You're calling from Surat. All right, you're calling from Modi country. Anyway, Modi's country is at the moment the entire country. Professor Iyer साहब, आप ये बताएं कि this civil nuclear deal, now everybody is hailing it as a great achievement for Narendra Modi. After 2008, it has taken us 7 years perhaps to operationalize and execute the deal. It was already operationalized at a bureaucratic level, at a governmental level, but will it make a difference on the ground? Professor Iyer.
Yeah, 100%, because if you look at, I've always said that nuclear energy is renewable energy, because it's a carbon-free energy.
Right.
And the Indo-US nuclear deal
Yes.
was one of the benchmark deals, of course, that was started by Bush and Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, because then also George W. Bush went out of the way to support India.
That's right.
And now, unfortunately, Manmohan Singh in his second tenure could not take the deal forward.
Yes.
And he failed miserably in getting the Indo-US deal through, only because of two reasons. One was the nuclear liability bill.
Yes.
And the second was the excessive intrusion that was going to come by virtue of tracking the nuclear fuel.
Right.
Now here, Modi's biggest victory is tracking the nuclear fuel is simply gone. Obama has just removed it.
Yes.
So that means India is allowed to use in as its various conditions the nuclear fuel and manage the waste in its own fashion.
Right.
Now this is very critical, because in India we don't dump the waste. We use the primary waste as a secondary fuel in the next state power plant. That is
but the only thing is, Professor, please lead us through this. This is something which I find very interesting. Pradeep, I think you want to come in as well. यहाँ पर सबसे पहले मैं हिंदी में सवाल पूछूंगा, उसके बाद अंग्रेजी में। भाई सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि आज की तारीख में चलिए न्यूक्लियर डील साइन हो गई, द सिविलियन पार्ट, द सरकारी पार्ट जो है न्यूक्लियर डील का, परमाणु एग्रीमेंट का, वो हो गया है, उसका कार्यान्वयन भी हो गया है. Now, what happens now? Because you sign a nuclear agreement now, that doesn't mean that a nuclear plant producing electricity is going to come up within the next 2 days or within the next 1 day. It's not. First you have to... No, but hang on a minute. First you have to acquire the land. Number one. Number two, after that, all the other commercial considerations have to be gone through, and then it goes on stream or online in a minimum 10 years. Isn't that right, Professor Iyer?
No, I don't think that is correct position, because there are two plants already on the map. One is the Jaitapur, which is under controversy, not because of anything else, क्योंकि हम जैतापुर में टेक्नोलॉजी अलग लेना चाह रहे हैं अरीवा का, वो सवाल उठ रहा है.
Right.
ठीक है, और 10,000 मेगावाट करना चाहते हैं एक साथ, वो सवाल उठ रहा है. तो जैतापुर का सवाल होगा कि 2,000 के लॉट में करिए. और जहां तक मीठी बिरदी है जो जामनगर के पास है, उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है, उसमें तो जमीन भी है और 6,000 मेगावाट बन जाएंगे. तो ये चीज 5 साल के अंदर बाकायदा हो सकती है.
But hang on a minute, as far as Ariva is concerned, from whatever I know right now, from whatever information I've got, you are looking at electricity at about 11 rupees 80 paisa per unit. Isn't that right, Professor Iyer? Sorry, I'm playing devil's advocate over here. But 11 rupees 80 paisa per unit.
Let's understand that. See, आप एक बात समझिए, आज आप थर्मल पावर प्लांट आज आप डालेंगे तो 6 रुपए की आप बिजली बना रहे हैं, और कार्बन का कॉस्ट कम से कम 7 से 8 रुपया है जो कार्बन आप मैनेज कर रहे हैं, वो एनवायरनमेंट डाल रहे हैं.
And that is non-renewable. Most importantly, that is non-renewable. मतलब वो एक बार गया तो गया. That's it.
गया. दूसरी चीज है न्यूक्लियर, और उसको इस तरह से कंपेयर करना ही गलत है, क्योंकि न्यूक्लियर पावर प्लांट कम से कम 50 से 75 साल का एसेट है.
जी.
आपका तारापुर आज 50 साल के ऊपर चल चुका है। ये सवाल पूछिए।
And what about and in comparison to that, what is the say a lifespan of a coal-fired power plant?
आई एम टेलिंग यू, नो कोल पावर प्लांट विच इज नॉट सुपर क्रिटिकल, जो अभी जो चल रहे हैं सब क्रिटिकल, ये आपके 5 से 10 साल के ऊपर चल ही नहीं सकते, कंडम है। अभी जो चाइना से आ रहा है वो इतने खराब है कि 10 साल के अंदर वो मशीन किसी लायक नहीं होगी।
और दूसरी चीज है कि कोयला आपका खत्म हो चुका है, कहने का मतलब ये हुआ जी।
वो कोयला तो और जल्दी खत्म होगा, क्योंकि जो जितने चाइना के प्लांट 70 गीगावाट 80 गीगावाट हम ला रहे हैं, वो इतना बड़ा कचरा है देश में, वो हमारे देश को कंगाल कर देगा वो।
तो कहने का मतलब ये हुआ कि ये नरेंद्र मोदी के लिए बहुत बड़ी उपलब्धि है। कहने का मतलब ये हुआ कि नरेंद्र मोदी ने
अच्छी तरह समझ रहे हैं, नरेंद्र मोदी बहुत अच्छी तरह समझ रहे हैं इसको कि कोयला निकाल भी नहीं पाएंगे, और भारत का जो कोयला है उसमें 40% के ऊपर ऐश कंटेंट है, 58% कुछ जगहों में है। तो ये कोयला को बिना फॉरेन कोयले के साथ ब्लेंड किए इसको किसी थर्मल पावर प्लांट में इस्तेमाल भी नहीं किया जा सकता
जी। So in effect this is a great achievement for Narendra Modi, is that what you're saying?
वो तो बड़ा क्लियर है, विजनरी आदमी है, उसको समझ में आ रहा है। वो अब हर चीज मनमोहन के खिलाफ नहीं किया है, तो इसमें बहस क्यों कर रहे हो? ये तो मनमोहन सिंह वाली बात आगे लेके गए वो, तो इसमें तो थप्पी दो उनको जो अच्छे
No, but I'm not even going into that. Professor Iyer साहब, I'm not even going into that. Let's be very clear, it is the same government of India. गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का इवोल्यूशनरी प्रोसेस है जो पहली सरकार ने किया, अब इस सरकार ने आकर के उसका अच्छी तरीके से कार्यान्वयन किया है। उस पर मुझे नहीं लगता कि कोई भी जरा भी मतलब ये तो निरर्थक बात हो गई कि भाई मनमोहन सिंह के वक्त भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने लायबिलिटी क्लॉज इंक्लूड किया, इन्होंने ये नहीं किया, उन्होंने वो नहीं किया। लेट्स टॉक अबाउट राइट नाउ, लेट्स टॉक अबाउट ग्राउंड जीरो राइट नाउ।
इसीलिए मैंने कहा कि ये एक राष्ट्रीय रूप से बहुत अच्छा स्ट्रेटेजिक स्टेप है
जी,
और इसको बिना पॉलिटिक्स के समझा जाए कि ये भारत के भले के लिए है
जी।
और न्यूक्लियर एक गैर पारंपरिक ऊर्जा के अंदर मानते हैं, लेकिन बेसिकली माना जाए तो न्यूक्लियर ही पारंपरिक है। सूर्य में भी न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी है
जी,
जो फ्यूजन है।
Now over here, Professor Iyer, the other thing which I would like to ask you is this: ऊर्जा सुरक्षा को लेकर के, एनर्जी सिक्योरिटी को लेकर के, after having signed this nuclear deal with Barack Obama, rather the deal had already been signed, now it is going to be operationalized. Now, how secure are we in terms of energy security, say 10 years later or 15 years later?
I'm telling you, हमारे पास इंडिजिनस टेक्नोलॉजी आ चुकी है, फास्ट ब्रीडर रिएक्टर
जी,
जिसमें हम अपना क्या बोलते एनरिच यूरेनियम को वापर के उससे हम फिर से बिजली बनाते हैं। तो भारत एकमात्र विश्व में देश है, ये समझा जाए आपके व्यूअर्स के लिए, कि जिसमें होमी बाबा जैसे ब्रिलियंट आदमी ने कहा कि हम ओपन साइकिल रिएक्टर नहीं बनाएंगे, क्लोज साइकिल बनाएंगे।
राइट।
तो इसीलिए हम उस प्राइमरी फ्यूल को टेरिशरी फ्यूल बना के वापस इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं।
राइट।
तो हमारे पास ये बहुत बड़ा उपलब्धि ये हो गया।
Now, in terms of the requirement at the moment, you know, what is the requirement of power generation for the country, and what will be the requirement, say, 10 years later, if we have a GDP growth of somewhere in the region of, say, 6 to 7% a year? 6 to 7% a year GDP growth, what will be the power requirements, say, 10 years later?
I'm telling you, today you are at 2014.
Yes.
So if you take a timeline of 2022 to 25.
Right.
आपके पास कम से कम 600 से 800 गीगावाट के रेंज में होना चाहिए। इस वक्त आपके पास 250 गीगावाट है
जी।
तो इसका मतलब आप इस तरह की इकोनॉमी डेवलप कर रहे हैं, इसमें नौकरियां इतनी पैदा होंगी, इसमें इन्वेस्टमेंट इतना होगा, सब कुछ आएगा, देश की इकोनॉमी को ही फास्ट फॉरवर्ड कर देगा।
So how many nuclear power plants would you need, say, 10 years later?
It is not a question of how many nuclear power plant. You need a mix. न्यूक्लियर की अपनी जगह है। अब न्यूक्लियर 50 से 60 गीगावाट के ऊपर आप कर नहीं पाएंगे उस समय।
जी।
क्योंकि आपको न्यूक्लियर को भी रखना है। न्यूक्लियर इज ओनली अ फ्यूचरिस्टिक मॉडल कि 50 साल बाद कोयला जब नहीं होगा तब न्यूक्लियर काम करेगा।
Right.
तो
so how many gigawatts are we looking at, say 10 years later?
We are looking at 50
20,
to 60
30,
gigawatts.
40, 50. But isn't that being very optimistic? 10 years later, 50 gigawatts.
No. It is not optimistic. It's very normal. I tell you, आज 1000 मेगावाट के सिंगल रिएक्टर आ रहे हैं।
Right.
पहले 200-250 मेगावाट के रिएक्टर आते थे, 100 के आते थे। अब सिंगल मशीन 1000 मेगावाट की है
जी।
तो अगर आप 1000 मेगावाट की मशीन लेंगे, एक जगह पे लगाएंगे, 3-4 हजार मेगावाट का एक जगह लगा सकते हैं आप।
ना कहने का मतलब ये हुआ, but this is something which I understand. But in your expert opinion, do you favor the French technology or would you rather go in for the American technology?
See, there is nothing called American technology. You also know that Westinghouse is now a Japanese company.
That's right.
ठीक है, तो Westinghouse is a proven technology. The same way, if you look at the Russians are also not bad. Kudamkulam, we just awarded Kudamkulam as the best nuclear power plant in the country.
Right.
So I have no problem with these. Even Canadians, the CANDU, which was there, they have also a 1000 megawatt ka reactor. That's also an excellent reactor.
Right.
But basically, the Ariva technology is not proven. वो कहीं चला नहीं है, इसलिए सवाल उठ रहे हैं.
जी.
इसलिए
But is
Ariva
it safe? Is it safe? I mean, I hope we are not looking at. I'll tell you what happens. Each time we talk about nuclear technology, each time we talk about nuclear power generation, immediately the image of Chernobyl springs to mind. Immediately. You know,
but Chernobyl is a very different technology. Let us understand.
all the Greenpeace guys, all the people, screaming and shouting against nuclear power generation, they all start talking about Chernobyl. They all start talking about a meltdown. They all start talking about what took place in, the great Long Island disaster in the 60s. And as a result of which, the Americans themselves have not had a nuclear power plant generating system now in the last 30 years, and so on and so forth. So how do you get around that problem, Professor Iyer?
It is very simple. What happened at Fukushima? Let us go to the recent one.
Right.
Now, Fukushima, now the same reactor is operating full-fledged. Because everybody knows वो reactor का problem ही नहीं था. It was not a reactor problem.
Gee.
It was simply a bad logic of putting the DG set at 3-meter level and just outside.
Right.
The moment the tsunami came, the island got disconnected. A DG set can only operate for 8 hours.
And in any event, the diesel set, which was the diesel engine, which was supposed to operate the DG set, as you rightly put it, was placed in such a way that it drowned in the water that came in, and as a result of it, it couldn't work. That's what happened.
And it was a stupid design. It was a mistake of the Japanese. Whereas the same type of design is available at Kaiga.
Right.
When Nagapattinam had this big tsunami, the Kaiga system had the cooling water pumps operated by an independent DG site underground.
And also, correct me if I'm wrong, since you mentioned TEPCO and since you mentioned the Fukushima disaster, there was also a design problem insofar as withstanding of the earthquake, the tremors generated by the earthquake is concerned. I believe a couple of quality inspectors were bribed very clearly to say that everything is okay before it went online. Isn't that correct, Professor Iyer?
See, I'll tell you what happened. These are all the way we are speculating. But if you look at what has happened post the Fukushima, all the radioactivity is gone. Today the plant is again operating.
Yes.
And they are now starting Japan is going full-fledged with the nuclear technology. They're going further advanced with the nuclear systems. So what I'm saying, these are all experiences of the human population.
But the fact remains, now, hang on a minute. I kind of disagree with you over there. What I do,
disagreement.
Professor Iyer, just hear me out. Where I don't disagree with you is that we need nuclear power. There is no doubt about it. We need nuclear power generation. But where I disagree is that in terms of systems, we need to have systems in place where nobody will be allowed to undermine the system or the parameters within which you have to work. That is the most important thing.
Exactly, that's the point I'm coming to.
Right.
You cannot have long faces on your Indian engineers who have developed the Kalpakam fast breeder reactor today.
Right.
Now that 500 megawatt thing is going to go on with an indigenous design.
Yes.
Now in the Kudamkulam also, the Russians have provided design. But I'm telling you, minus the main reactor, the entire power plant has been indigenously made in India.
Yes.
So why we are not looking at the lowest cost technology in the world? Because after a few years, the figure that I have is 2 rupees 80 paisa after 7 years from Indian nuclear power plants.
2 rupees 80 paisa after 7 years, which is absolutely fantastic.
And I will tell you example.
You know what that means?
I will tell you live example.
No, but hang on. You know what that means? We could be selling our nuclear power plants to the Americans instead of the other way around.
Exactly. And they are very happy doing that because they don't have any technology left there.
Right.
Let us understand, America neither supplies fuel. Fuel suppliers are world leaders in fuel supply are Australia and Canada.
Yes.
And also you have go to Mozambique and other countries in Africa who do not have a good safety record. That's why they are not allowed to sell.
Yes.
So therefore, America backing you because this whole nuclear supply system is controlled by the International Atomic Energy Agency, which is completely controlled by the big powers of the world.
That is the IAEA. That is the International Atomic Energy Association. IAEA. That's right.
Yeah, International Atomic Energy Agency. Now there, the US, the French, and others are in control. So only China will oppose you. But Chinese opposition will have no reason because now America has played a double whammy here. They have also committed to Modi that India will be permanent member of the UN Security Council. That is the pitch America has taken now.
Right. Now, hang on a minute. I think Pradeep wants to ask a question. Pradeep, go ahead, please.
The day Barack Obama landed in Delhi, Pakistan was plunged in darkness. Pakistan में 80% electricity बंद हो गया था. Nawab Sharif could not go to Davos to attend the summit. Now there is talk in Pakistan कि हमको electricity India से लेना पड़ेगा. क्या इंडिया का वो कैपेसिटी है कि आज के तारीख में अपने डिमांड को फुलफिल करके पाकिस्तान को सप्लाई? Because आज के तारीख में the entire world is a global village. Electricity can be a great pacifier between the nations. क्या आपको लगता है कि पाकिस्तान के जो दुर्दशा है इलेक्ट्रिसिटी के कंसर्न में, इंडिया उसको पूरा कर सकता है?
बड़े आराम से मैं आपको बताता हूँ. हमको अपने आप को भी हेल्प करना है, दूसरे को कैसे करना है बताता हूँ. थरपारकर, the area in Pakistan is the largest, fifth largest, sixth largest deposit of coal in the world. 185 बिलियन टन कोल थारपारकर डेजर्ट में है, जो कि सिंध प्रोविंस का है. और वो बॉर्डर करता है गुजरात.
Which rightfully speaking should have come to India after 1947, but we allowed it to go to Pakistan, right?
So let it be there. But I am saying Pakistan should sell some coal to India and allow mining of coal. Indian mining experts, technology providers, everybody can go produce that coal and generate power for them. We will not. Then we will never talk of Kashmir. We'll talk of business because इतना बड़ा है ये कि कश्मीर तो कुछ नहीं है इसके सामने.
लेकिन यहाँ पर प्रोफेसर साहब दूसरी चीज ये है कि जहां तक के हिंदुस्तान का सवाल है, एक तो न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी की बात होगी और दूसरा जिस प्रकार बराक ओबामा साहब ने हिंदुस्तान को सपोर्ट करने की बात की है, जहां तक के सौर ऊर्जा का प्रश्न है, एज फार एज सोलर एनर्जी इज कंसर्न,
100 गीगावाट बनने वाला है. 100 गीगावाट 2022 तक, ध्यान रखिएगा
जी.
5 गुना जो पिछली सरकार ने 20 गीगावाट बोला था 2022 तक, वो 5 गुना 100 gigawatt by 2022. That is the Modi government target.
I would like to say, Mr. Modi also during the course of talks with Obama, उन्होंने कहा कि क्लीन एनर्जी की जरूरत है और हमारे फ्यूचर और क्लाइमेट चेंज के बारे में जिस प्रकार से वो इंडिकेशंस दे रहा था नरेंद्र मोदी, उनको कहना था कि यस द फ्यूचर, हमको अपने फ्यूचर जनरेशंस के बारे में ख्याल रखना होगा. We have to create an environment for the future generations that is not polluted. That gives a clear indication where we are going where energy is concerned.
So in terms of American energy, American technology and American investment, do you foresee a very huge amount of American investment coming in over here, especially where solar energy is concerned, Professor Iyer?
Yes, I tell you that is also a major achievement, and that was done yesterday, not today.
Right.
And yesterday, Obama and Modi, and it was very clear. You must be knowing that I am tracking this whole thing. There is an investment summit and all that, which is going to happen. We are also having a renewable purchase obligation summit, which is fundamental to drawing solar and other renewables into India, because we need obligation to the environment from the country.
Right.
Now, Obama is going to. Now, the trick that is here is cheap funds will flow from the US.
Right.
Earlier, that was not possible because there was the American technology in renewables is very, very way forward. And I can tell you that both American technology and money, when it comes into India in joint venture fashion, we will not be developing only 100 gigawatt here. आपको मैं बता रहा हूँ, आप देखते रहिए, offshore wind power develop होगा, which I call the marine renewable energy.
And tidal waves. And
tidal energy.
Right.
Tidal energy.
Right.
Because India is way behind in tidal, and I tell you, commercial tidal plants are already developed in even small countries like Indonesia.
That's right. That's right.
So basically, we are looking at a major shift of India's strategy in energy policy.
Now, which means, but the other reason also is very, very clearly that the one thing that Prime Minister Modi has done, he has created an environment of hope and optimism all over the country and all over the world. He has actually got people all over the world thinking that, hey, listen, India is a great destination to go to. India is a great place to go to. India is a great investment destination to go to, which is the reason why, okay, we have not got, say, $300 trillion coming in the last 7 months. But what has happened is that people with those $300 trillion are actually paying a lot of attention to India now because of the atmosphere of optimism which has been created by Prime Minister Modi. Professor Iyer.
Yeah, see, I tell you one thing. We all know that even a very strong event like Vibrant Gujarat, when it happens,
yes,
the total committed MOUs that happen, it is more of a photo opportunity for any chief minister.
Yes.
At the end of the day, if 100 rupees is promised, only 13 rupees comes.
Yes.
That is most optimistic. And many places, only 8% to 10% investment turn out to be really coming on the ground.
Right.
Now, even after knowing this fact, I'm telling you, you will not get even 8 to 10%. Example, this year, Bengal did the global summit.
Yes.
Right? All these years when Bengal did not do any summit,
yes,
and it was at the fag end, even 1% foreign direct investment did not come of the GDP level.
Yes.
So therefore, marketing cannot stop. Every chief minister, every state must behave like a state CEO. The time has come that you do what Modi did for Gujarat.
Right.
Because there's no loser in this game. At
No,
least
but wait a minute. You got a major problem here. What is the problem here? I'll tell you. The entire development in this country up till now, आज तक जो हिंदुस्तान का विकास हुआ है वो बड़ा lopsided हुआ है. In the western region, you've got all the industry concentrated in the western region of the country. All right?
Right.
You've got
Right.
Gujarat, you've got Maharashtra, you've got Karnataka, and you've got Tamil Nadu and Kerala. That's it. As far as the rest of the country is concerned, it might as well not be there. So how do you work out in such a way that you equalize that imbalance so that a kind
That's
of balance
already
is
happening.
created?
By the way, that's already happening. I
How?
will tell you, eastern side, if you watch what is happening to Haldia port,
Gee.
what is happening down south at Andhra Pradesh, the biggest, I would say, deep draft container terminal has been developed at Krishnapatnam.
Right?
And I will tell you, if I must comment here very, very positively for the even previous government on this regard, the one ministry that successfully worked in the previous time was G.K. Vasan's shipping ministry.
Yes.
On record, I am telling you, 19 ports were to be developed in 7 years. And G.K. Vasan's ministry ended up developing 16 ports for India.
Yes.
84% performance.
Fantastic.
Have you ever seen that?
And nobody talks about it, which is the sad part.
No. I tell you that we should not say that. Actually, Modi government has not criticized the shipping policy.
No, I'm not talking about the Modi government. I'm talking about the previous Congress government. Very unfortunately,
that is a stupid government.
No,
That's a
very
stupid
unfortunately, they decided to shoot themselves in both feet. What do you do? I mean,
You
you
look at
had
that.
Dr.
You
Manmohan
look at
Singh.
that.
You had Dr.
look at
Manmohan
that.
Singh, who was one of the, I personally would say, one of the best prime ministers we've had in years, and he himself was told to keep his mouth shut and go into the background by the political powers that be. Very, very unfortunate, which is the reason why we have a BJP government over here. But at least Narendra Modi realizes the value of business. My point is, as Mr. Modi has been heard to remark so many times earlier, the business of India is business. And to propagate that business, to promote that business, you need power. Without power, there can be no business. Now, one final word from you, Professor Iyer. आप ये बताएं कि अभी जो बराक ओबामा और नरेंद्र मोदी के बीच में जो बातचीत हुई है, आज 26 जनवरी है, that could be a platform for a huge push or a huge quantum jump in the way India is going to develop in the next 10 years. Do you see it like that, Professor Iyer?
I'll tell you one thing. See, one is that you need to create I would say, whether it's a hype or advancement of image building. That has been done.
Right.
Now, let us sit down and look at implementation.
Yes.
I have a problem with one issue.
What is the issue?
The issue is, you say Niti Aayog.
Yes.
I was never in favor of the Niti. Niti Aayog is policy Aayog.
Yes.
Right? Policy का problem ही नहीं था. Problem था plan implementation का.
Ji.
So Modi should immediately understand that although he has named it Niti Aayog, he should focus on implementation of the plan.
Yes.
Now the economist Arvind Pangaria has been talking something which I don't agree with him at all. He's been saying that such a country like India does not need a plan. And I totally disagree with him. Without a plan, on paper, no company, no channel, no nothing can work.
Yes.
So this is the most stupid argument because you just want to please Modi and you are saying this is not going to work.
Yes.
I feel you should not forget that you may have changed the name of the Planning Commission to Niti Aayog, but your real weakness was plan implementation and not policy construct.
कहने का मतलब ये हुआ कि जहां नरेंद्र मोदी जी का प्रश्न है या भारतीय जनता पार्टी का प्रश्न है या जो लोग आज की तारीख में सरकार में हैं उनको ये नहीं भूलना चाहिए कि आज आप इस जगह पर खड़े हैं इसलिए खड़े हैं क्योंकि आपके पहले भी बहुत लोग गए हैं. An entire platform has been built for you. Now it's up to you how to use that platform. So far, the going has not been too bad. But Professor Iyer, thank you very much for talking to us. Great pleasure as always talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And happy Republic Day.
Yes, very happy Republic Day.
Right. Thank you so much.
Of a great nation. Of a great nation.
And let's have a happy Energy Republic Day. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.